Thank you, Paul, and good day, everyone. This month marks my first year at Sasol and has been an incredible journey. I'm inspired by the drive and commitment of my colleagues as they work tirelessly during very uncertain times to deliver energy solutions to our customers and value to our shareholders. The care and innovative spirit continues to energize me. Building on Fleetwood's opening remarks, our strategy is guided by a purpose of innovating for a better world. We have embraced the drive to our net zero ambition as a purposeful opportunity and platform for growth and value creation. We believe that this journey will require collaboration and strong leadership in the region. Sasol is poised to lead and drive the much-needed collaboration. The key messages that I intend to share today are: firstly, we have advantage and flexible assets coupled with our distinctive capabilities to generate cash and strong returns. Secondly, we continue to drive the resilience of our portfolio to top quartile through improvement in reliability and cost competitiveness, while also offering differentiated customer propositions to unlock value for our shareholders. Thirdly, preparing for a net zero future by 2050. To underpin this ambition, we are tripling our 2030 GHG reduction target for Scope 1 and 2, announced last year. We are also introducing a Scope 3 reduction target by 2030. And lastly, our feedstock agnostic FT technology, coupled with our existing chemicals and refining units, provide an opportunity for us to repurpose our assets. This can be done in a flexible manner, in line with demand for sustainable solution, while also targeting high-value products. This is a huge and unique competitive advantage. We will leverage our partnership platforms to share risks and build new capabilities in low-carbon solutions. In shaping our strategic ambition, we've analyzed the global megatrends and their likely impact on Southern Africa. The growing global population and rise of middle class is expected to result in an increased demand for energy, despite efficiencies through technology improvements and customer behavioral changes. However, the energy mix is changing as society, regulators, and customers are demanding cleaner and more affordable energy. But this change will not happen overnight. In South Africa, the pace of change depends on both global and local factors. Our scenarios show that fossil-based liquid fuels demand in South Africa increases to 2025 and then remains relatively flat to 2030. Thereafter, there is an acceleration of electrification predominantly for passenger vehicles, renewables, and sustainable solutions. By 2050, we expect the demand for green hydrogen production of 4 to 7 million tons in South Africa, supported by significant growth in renewables. By 2030, we also expect the cost of hydrogen to reduce from around $5 to below $2 per kilogram, which will accelerate decarbonization opportunities for hard-to-abate industries, including our operations. Our commercial customers, particularly those with a global footprint, will require low-carbon solutions to address the Scope 1 and 2 emissions and remain competitive. We also expect that our customer will continue to redefine mobility and convenience expectations, resulting in innovative solutions to repurpose our real estate. An example is investing in new adjacencies, such as hydrogen filling station, while also providing growth through other convenience and digital platforms such as last mile delivery. This emergence of new value pools will become more attractive through technology breakthroughs and scale-up. Further regulatory reforms such as self-mandates and cross-border tax will accelerate investment in development of sustainable energy solutions. Whatever the pace and form the transition takes, Sasol is well poised to be an active participant. The energy transition presents unique challenges for South Africa, given that it is amongst the world's highest per capita greenhouse gas emitters. Our economic context is also challenging, with infrastructure constraints, shortage of skills, and rising unemployment, limiting the growth potential in the medium term. However, at the same time, we have a deep belief that the changing energy mix and flows presents a huge opportunity for a green hydrogen economy. This could be the catalyst for growth given strong endowments in wind and solar resources, platinum group metals, and access to unique technologies such as FT. We also believe that Southern Africa can grow its export market to low-carbon products given our advantaged geographic positioning. To achieve this, we will require collaboration between government and private sector with a roadmap which supports the transition. Our distinctive competitive advantage, iconic brand, and deep capabilities in running complex value chains play to the energy transition era, and we as Sasol aspire to lead the change in Southern Africa. Against this backdrop, our strategy is built on 3 pillars. Each pillar represents an exciting opportunity in its own right. First, the decarbonization agenda has already started. We want to be well advanced in our GHG emission reduction activities by 2030, which underpins our 2050 net zero ambition. This we will do by pursuing energy efficiency levers, such as energy integration to produce more steam, implementing renewables at scale, while also transitioning to low-carbon feedstock, such as gas. Gas will play a critical role as a transitional carbon solution for our feedstock needs and customers, but will be introduced in a phased approach to create flexibility and optionality to pivot to sustainable feedstock as technology learnings improves. On renewables, we intend to procure at least 1,200 megawatts by 2030, which will see us become the largest off-taker of renewables in the country. Secondly, as we decarbonize, we have to preserve and deliver value from our foundation business, which is key to our transformation, as these cash flows enable our strategy. First and foremost, we will maintain our absolute focus on safety and operational reliability. Delivery of the 7 billion additional EBITDA target, made up of cash, costs, and gross margin through Sasol 2.0 by 2025 is key. We have defined a clear set of initiatives and are making good progress to deliver our full potential. We have an ambitious customer-centric strategy to win and expand our market leadership in mobility and commercial channels. We believe we have a right to win as the major downstream player with an iconic brand. Our unique inland refining capacity positions us well to capture a disproportionate growth in the key segments. We aim to excite our customers with new and differentiated offers, modernized stores, digital offerings that increase convenience, and we will continue to build our network in high growth areas. We will leverage on strategic partners to further enhance our offering. As an example, we have concluded a strategic partnership with McDonald's South Africa aimed at enhancing our customer experience through innovative solutions. We understand the importance of loyalty programs in South Africa, and I'm very excited to announce the plan to launch the first of our new revitalized program in December 2021. We've also partnered with Imperial Logistics to grow our commercial business both in South Africa and neighboring countries, expanding our network footprint. The third pillar of our strategy is that we plan to scale low-carbon opportunities in select markets where we see an opportunity for growth and integration. True to our purpose, we will bring the mobility revolution to our customers, launching new businesses to grow mobile fuel delivery, and offering sustainable fuels to support our customer needs. We are well positioned to produce the first green hydrogen in June 2023, albeit on a small scale from a Sasolburg facility at minimum cost. This will position Sasol to demonstrate and capture first mover advantage. We are also participating in the H2 Global Auction and aim to be the first producer of SAF in the country by 2025, out of Secunda in partnership with Linde, Enertrunk, and Navitas. We are collaborating to develop hydrogen export post-2030. We have taken learnings from previous projects and will partner to share risks and to complement our capabilities. In this regard, we have advanced a number of partnerships with a few already announced, such as Toyota South Africa and Imperial Logistics, with others at an advanced stage. Finally, we are excited to have concluded the first public-private partnerships in the region with the Industrial Development Corporation and Central Energy Fund to drive catalytic transformation. These opportunities present huge prospects over the next decade. Following on from what Fleetwood shared earlier, let me provide further color on the bold choices we've made to support our 3 pillars. First, we will shift our feedstock and energy mix to low-carbon alternatives by not investing in new coal reserves. As we transition and reduce our coal use, we'll continue our focus on coal quality and efficiencies, leveraging partnerships. Second, we will introduce additional gas incrementally as a transitionary feedstock. This will enable us to avoid long-term lock-ins while also creating flexibility and to take advantage of technology breakthroughs. Through partnerships, we are also intensifying our investment in integrated renewables to decarbonize our operations while laying a foundation for our green hydrogen ambitions. Lastly, we will accelerate green hydrogen at scale through our installed FT asset base. Our strategic choices will ensure we deliver on our ambitions and leverage the best parts of Sasol, while also profoundly changing the way we work. The pace and the economics of the decarbonization agenda remain uncertain and will depend on a number of factors which are difficult to predict. To that end, we have developed flexible pathways to leverage technology advancement while preserving shareholder value. We aim to replace 10 million tons of coal by 2030 with gas. Today, we are a leader in gas in Southern Africa, with operational capabilities and infrastructure in Mozambique. We will build from this leadership position to bring in incremental gas via LNG imports to replace coal. We are making good progress in negotiating a term sheet for LNG imports via Mozambique with a global player and are in advanced discussions with potential partners to unlock Richards Bay Terminal. Our gas strategy remains to maximize our own resources first before procuring LNG. Gas from our pent-demand gas fields is declining as expected, and we are optimizing the maturation of these resources. Further, our drilling campaign to access new wells in both the Panta-Temane field and production sharing agreement is progressing better than planned. Our gas to liquids process emits 8 times less CO2 per ton of product compared to coal to liquids. Therefore, an incremental transition to more gas will bring significant reduction in emissions during the transition. To promote gas as a critical enabler for decarbonization, the Central Energy Fund and Sasol have signed a memorandum of understanding to collaborate on the acceleration of gas solutions in Southern Africa. This agreement brings together South Africa's 2 leading pioneers of gas industry, both with deep experience across the value chain. Towards the middle of the decade, we expect to introduce alternative low-carbon feedstocks such as green hydrogen and biomass. These feedstocks will accelerate our decarbonization agenda and reduce our Scope 1 emissions in the longer term. The pace of feedstock transition will be informed by the key signposts, namely technology changes which could reduce costs. As an example, as green hydrogen costs reach the range of $1 to $2 per kg, it becomes cost competitive with coal as feedstock. In addition to the green hydrogen, we also require a sustainable carbon source. Initially, we will start by using biomass in small quantities, but eventually we will require technologies like direct air capture to become economically viable to address the scale of hydrogen that is required to meet the country's decarbonization objective. We see the potential for application of this technology once costs approach $200 per ton, which will likely to be beyond 2040. Development in regulations, including carbon tax and potential incentives, are additional signposts that Sasol will monitor and proactively manage through our advocacy plan. Lastly, customer sentiments and pricing changes will afford us an opportunity to accelerate the transition. We are initially targeting markets in Europe where sustainable products are trading at a premium. In the long term, Secunda could be one of the lowest cost producers of sustainable products globally. We acknowledge the scale of the challenge and are committed to taking action to meet it. We will update you on the progress as our plans evolve. We believe that our net zero ambition is possible. We have multiple levers beyond feedstock to achieve this. Like with the rest of our strategy, we will not do this on our own, but we will leverage on strong existing technology and innovation partnerships. This includes partnering with the Council for Geosciences on carbon capture and storage, enhancing our university support programs, and working closely with the South African government to develop a hydrogen master plan and roadmap. Our long-standing portfolio of assets is at the core of our heritage and important to meet South Africa's energy and economic needs. We run some of the most complex value chains globally while maintaining safe and reliable operations. This provides us with a solid base to transform. We have high levels of confidence that we can convert the Secunda facility to produce green hydrogen and selected high-premium sustainable chemicals to benefit our customers and the country. Our assets are highly cash generative and provide access to both domestic and export markets. We are very proud of our competitive position relative to peers, with the break-even cost reducing drastically since 2010 due to efficiencies, digitalization, and our highly capable people. Through Sasol 2.0, we plan to further improve on this break-even point, targeting $30 to $35 per barrel by 2025 and beyond, through further efficiency gains, optimization of external spend, and better supply management. This is despite the higher feedstock and decarbonization costs. Our energy business has an unmatched record of delivery, and we will continue to meet our targets to enable us to self-fund our transition. Looking at our asset portfolio, we have flexibility to repurpose our facilities to open up high-value, low-carbon opportunities. Our proprietary FT technology and process is feedstock agnostic, allowing us to transition from our current fossil feedstock to sustainable carbon and green hydrogen. This can be introduced incrementally into our Secunda facility and provides us with flexibility to progressively move toward a future without fossil fuel feedstocks and emissions. Our advantage assets in Secunda and Sasolburg are located in the demand hub for the region. These assets provide the opportunity to incrementally scale the introduction of green hydrogen up to 2 million tons per annum to produce sustainable products. This anchor demand provides a continuous offtake, allowing for optimal capital allocation while providing customer solutions in line with market demand. With minimal changes, we can immediately produce high-value premium products that customers will be demanding into the future, such as SAF, green ammonia, green methanol, and high-value chemical derivatives. As an example, we can scale SAF production from a few hundred barrels per day to 20,000 barrels per day at a relatively low cost. We can also introduce up to 200,000 tons per annum green hydrogen into our facilities, the equivalent of 1.5 to 2 gigawatts of electrolyzer capacity, with minimal changes to our site. A significant part of our asset base, as depicted in the blue, can be repurposed to produce sustainable products. This distinctive advantage, coupled with our technical capabilities, provides us with huge competitive benefit to outperform our competitors and capture value. We will review the optimal location for renewables and hydrogen production to achieve the best cost. Our ability to use green hydrogen at scale places us in a unique position to play a leading role in the growth of South Africa's green hydrogen economy. We acknowledge that Sasol's vision for our South African operations is considered impossible by many of our stakeholders. Given our high energy and carbon-intensive coal-to-liquids and gas-to-chemicals operations, it may be difficult to imagine a future where Sasol produces sustainable fuels and chemicals. Ironically, converting green hydrogen to produce SAF is easier for Sasol compared to others. A path to zero fossil products can be implemented in phases over time as the technology cost becomes affordable. The unique opportunity that this transformation creates is to completely decarbonize and make sustainable customer solutions based on demand. Having said this, let me again reiterate that we do not underestimate the challenge ahead of us to transform our operations. While we are not promoting that a total conversion of our Secunda operations is feasible or even necessary, we are developing a vision of the end state to guide our future moves. As mentioned, we are targeting a step change in our own decarbonization effort over the next decade, with a target of 30% reduction in Scope 1 and Scope 2 GHG emissions by 2030. This threefold increase is delivered with the same capital budget as our original 10% target, demonstrating our innovative spirit and efficiency drive. Our target to 2030 will result in a reduction of coal demand by 10 million tons and consequently our Scope 1 and 2 GHG emissions by 19 million tons. A coal reduction of this magnitude has a further benefit of improving our air quality, emissions, and other environmental matters. We will invest with the same capital budget, demonstrating both innovation and efficiency. We have a clear integrated roadmap to underpin 25% of the Scope 1 and 2 target, mainly driven by our current initiatives related to energy and process energy improvements, additional incremental gas of 40 to 60 petajoule per annum, and 35% shutdown of boilers in Secunda. We currently use 1,200 megawatts of coal-based power, which over time will be replaced with renewables. We will start with 600 megawatts by 2024, ramping up to 1,200 by 2027. We are at an advanced stage with our partner Air Liquide to procure the first 600 megawatts for use in our Secunda operations. We've also agreed our first power purchase agreement for 2 embedded generation projects to procure 20 megawatts to produce green hydrogen at our Sasolburg operations by 2023. Further, we've set ourselves a new target to reduce our Scope 3 emissions by 20% by 2030, predominantly driven by a reduction in coal export and an incremental transition to lower carbon feedstock. To reiterate the point Fleetwood made earlier, as we transition, the labor impacts are not significant up to 2030. Notwithstanding, our transition is about our people, our communities, and will be undertaken in a just manner, enabled through our recent formed Just Transition Office. Earlier, I unpacked mega trends influencing the energy mix and consequent new business opportunities to develop sustainable solutions for our customers. The new value pools present a huge business opportunity for us, given our geographic positioning, technical expertise, and advantaged customer relationships. To put it into context, we expect 3 to 5 million tons of green hydrogen export from Southern Africa, with green ammonia being the first derivative to lead the export demand due to ease of transportation. Similarly, local demand for hydrogen, power to liquids, and sustainable chemicals are expected to be between 2 to 3 million tons per year, translating to a potential demand for SAF in excess of 14,000 barrels per day, which we can tap into. Against this backdrop, our right to win is underpinned by our capabilities and skill set in producing the largest scale of grey hydrogen globally. Our unique FT technology, which is feedstock agnostic, our advantage asset base, which can be seamlessly repurposed to produce sustainable products, a strong market position supported by an iconic brand and existing infrastructure, partnerships with industry leaders to accelerate the pace of transition and development of new value pools. I've covered our competitive advantages, opportunities, and plans. All of this culminates into a solid value creation portfolio, generating strong competitive returns to 2030. This will provide strong cash generation to fund our transition. In the near term, our focus is on cash delivery and margin enhancement while delivering on our Sasol 2.0 ambition. This we will do by driving efficiencies and digitalization to deliver a cash break-even of between $30 to $35 per barrel by 2030. In addition, we will drive strong market leadership position in our mobility and commercial channels, underpinned by plans to grow market share by 5 to 10% in 2030. To grow our customer base, we will leverage strategic partnerships and our revitalized loyalty program to reach 1 million new customers by 2025. We've also optimized our capital profile, which includes our emission reduction expenditure, through efficiencies and better procurement processes. As we scale renewables, we will halve our electricity emissions and reduce related costs by 20%. Up to 2030, we are likely to face many headwinds, including carbon tax, higher feedstock prices, and climate-related expenditure. However, to ensure the resilience of the business, we've continued with our efficiency and margin improvement initiatives to deliver superior returns to our shareholders. I've shared quite a bit of detail on our new strategy today, which is rooted firmly in our purpose, innovating for a better world. To conclude, let me recap on a few salient points. First, we have advantage assets and distinctive capabilities to create value and fund the transition. We are leveraging our competitive strength in access to advantage feedstock, technology experience to deliver our aspired futures for lower carbon solutions, and an even greater customer focus. We intend to move fast, but with care and discipline. Second, we have flexible pathways to achieve our net zero ambition by 2050, with credible plans to achieve 25% of our 2030 GHG target, and are confident that through technology improvements, we will achieve our 30% target. Third, we are creating optionality for securing affordable gas at multiple sources for our feedstock requirements and customer needs. Fourth, we are committed to co-creating sustainable solutions with our customers and to be a market leader in the green hydrogen in Southern Africa. And finally, we are partnering to build new capabilities and manage risks. As a proudly South African business, focused on delivering sustainable solutions for our customers, we believe we can both help the country to decarbonize while seizing the huge business opportunities the energy transition has to offer. Our strategy is ambitious, but it is grounded on realism, and we are confident that we will deliver. Thank you for listening. I now hand over to Marius to talk more about how we will leverage our FT technology in future.